My name is Lorraine of District 32, and I've got the absolute pleasure of having a conversation with Jeff Barnes of BD Solutions Australia. How are you, Jeff?
Excellent. Very well. Thank you, Lorraine.
Some good answers from people today. Excellent. Fantastic. Rocking and rolling. But I was laughing there as we were going to start the video because we've got a few nicknames for you already, Jeff. And they're good nicknames, right? I think was it Sales Genius and Closing Ninja? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to take both of them and keep them rolling with the punches on that?
Fingers crossed. Yeah. It's big shoes to fill, but I did screenshot, so that's okay.
Very good. So look, that's going to set the tone for this conversation. Jeff, you are a sales ninja and your business is BD Solutions. Tell me, what do you do in BD Solutions? Who do you do and who do you do it for? What do you do and who do you do it for?
No problem. So I'm pretty big in the tech world. So my, skill set and what I find people have issues with is discovering opportunities within clients and actually being able to close and actually being able to present and communicate the true value of what they do to their customer and actually getting an answer. A lot of people get left on red. So especially in seems to be the tech world because, a lot of people in IT, a lot of people, engineering, etc., are more about what they do rather than how they communicate that to the client. So that's how I started the business. I love sales. I'm absolutely passionate about sales. And I love the psychology behind it to actually understand what the customer wants and what the customer and how to basically deliver that for the betterment of both the company and the client.
Okay, now I know exactly what you do, right? Because we work with you and I can understand what you're saying, right? But for people who don't understand the sales lingo, what does it actually mean? Break that down for me. When you say I find opportunities within the client, what does that actually mean?
No problem. So when you're talking to a person or a potential target, everybody's usually got a problem or a pain point they want to solve. So the worst thing you can do in sales is to actually go there and say and present to them, be like, I do A, B, and C. And people go, I don't need any of that. Instead of actually understanding what are you doing, who are you, how's business going, and kind of using an innovative approach to dig down and go, well, how could what I do help this customer? And instead of just telling them what I do, you really need to understand what their lay of the land, where they are in business. And then through a series of questions, in these sales conversations, you should probably do about 80% listening, 20% talking, just asking questions and drawing information out of the customer. And eventually 9 times out of 10, they'll actually tell you something that you're like, oh, I can help with that. I see where you've outlined a problem, and if they've got a problem that you can solve, then that's a lot better than just saying I do A, B, and C. Do you want it?
So big emphasis there and skill set around questioning techniques and knowing where to go and being present in that conversation and being able to, navigate around someone's pain points.
Correct. And the other thing is sales is psychology. And sales is very emotional, which people don't get, especially in the tech world, shall I say, where people buy on emotion. People will find a hook or find something that really drives them and motivates them to buy from you, and you need to be able to communicate that value. So a lot of times I speak to a lot of businesses out there, and whilst I understand what they do, it can take me, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to actually find out from them. And that's okay for someone like me, but for other people, if you've only got a 2 or 3 minute encounter with someone, you really want to be able to deliver the value straight off the bat and be able to kind of get that emotional hook to draw them in.
And sometimes we forget about that emotional hook, especially when we're wearing several hats. And a little story there, I've been in sales and marketing for, 15 years at least. Teach it, showcase it. And then you saw me do a presentation, you're like, Lorraine, where's the emotion in there? I think so. Sometimes you can forget, when you've got you've got your mindset and I'm going to do this and this is the information I need to get across. And then there might be nerves involved, in presenting or whatever. All those different things come in, but we have to remember that we're business is people.
Correct.
We're working with people and people buy based on emotion. Yep.
Correct. And I always say people buy off their mates. So not necessarily they buy off their mates, but there has to be trust. There has to be a connection. There has to be a relationship between you, and they need to go, well, actually, not only do I have this problem, I trust you to solve it. And normally it's not I trust you to solve it, it's I trust that you understand what I really want to. And from that, therefore, I believe you'll be able to deliver it properly and effectively, and therefore let's shake hands and do business.
So you get me, I trust you, I feel safe.
Correct.
You're gonna look after me. So yeah, and they're all, that's all the emotional backbone. Now, what you said there is earlier as well, Jeff, you spoke about working with clients. Does that mean when you're working with someone, you're best working with a list? Existing leads or existing clients and looking for the opportunities there? Is that how people engage you?
Correct. So I much prefer, look, I don't want to do lead generation. And to be honest with you, I think lead generation, the best lead generation out there is what I call network marketing or networking at the likes of District 32, because I think that way, when somebody refers somebody through the District 32 network or from your friends, you've already got that sense of trust that's already been built up. So I don't do lead generation. What I look at and I like to work with businesses on is firstly to be able to find the true value, and we redefine all of the content. We redefine what you actually sell. Most people don't actually know what they sell. They think they do. It's a product, service, but it's not, because that may resonate with someone looking for that product or service, but doesn't resonate with anyone. And then I look at closing and I say, right, how are we going to close? How are we actually going to ask for the order? How are we going to get the customer that we've engaged, ask for a proposal to make sure that proposal is effective enough that they go, yep, I want to buy. And honestly, 95% of the time, price doesn't even come into it. If you use the right strategies and the right hook and communicate it effectively, they're sold before they even know your price, because you've proved to them that you can either grow their business, take away a pain point, or help them scale.
Yeah. Now, Jeff, sales is not everybody's cup of tea, right?
Yep.
How did you get into sales? How did you end up here?
It's a very good question, and a long-winded story. It was born into me when I look back. It was a story that my grandfather told me. He said, my dad got paid £5 or whatever it was back then to mow the lawn. So we went and got a neighbour to do it for $2.50 and sat there, and my grandfather came out and he goes, Dad, my dad, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, well, I want my £5 and the lawn's getting mowed. And I got told that at about 6 or 7, and that just stayed with me. So I used to ride my bike around and wash neighbours' cars, and I worked out, this is in primary school, probably can't do it nowadays, but I worked out that if I did it during Eagles away games, more people would be at home in front of the TV and not wash their cars. So I used to ride around the neighbourhood. I used to go to the candy store beforehand and buy lollies and then sell them at school at recess and lunch for double the price. And it kind of grew from there. But I fell in love with the psychology. I was always an avid people watcher and seeing how people tick and understanding them. And, from that, my teachers always told me I talk way too much and, I wouldn't be able to make a career out of it, but here I am.
There's nothing better than a told you so to school chums or teachers, right?
Exactly.
So look, Jeff, we are very excited. You are going to speak for the District 32 and Per Small Business community. A massive event coming up for us on the 9th of March at CoLab by Liberty. It's 1 o'clock till 5 o'clock. I just know that this is going to be a sellout event because we're talking about sales and it's everybody's pain point, right? So tell me, Jeff, why should people come and see you at this event?
So we're going to go through 2 things. One, there's going to be the 3 main points that are going to be 3 takeaways that should drastically change and improve the way that you communicate. So we're going to go through that incredibly detailed for everybody to hopefully realize, I see why I wasn't making the sales or what was happening and how to improve. And we're going to go through the emotional and the psychology behind sales, because if you can understand that, your sales will grow. So anyone that sat there and said, 2023, I want to grow my business, increase sales, grow revenue, or increase profit as well, this is the event to come to, because we'll actually give you the strategies. And 95% of the time I leave these workshops with clients, they all sit there and go, oh, wow, all you've done is tweak or polish, but I can see how it'll be a hell of a lot more effective out when I'm talking to customers. So the feedback's been very positive. The results have been very positive, and hopefully I can help more people.
and we always learn something. Right, it's that we get the same message in layers, don't we, as our own development, our own psychology develops over the years. So I'm very excited about that. And you're also then going to sit at one of the mentoring group expert tables at the end, where people can ask questions, you know, sit there and ask questions of you, you know, for the last hour on how we, you know, what can they do in their business? What questions is pertinent to their product or service or business? So look, I'm really, really excited. Sales is always a hot topic. Psychology is a big, I love psychology myself. So yeah, I'm really excited to see you on the 9th, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us today.
No problems at all. Looking forward to it. Thank you. Look forward to it.
See you soon. Bye. Thanks, Jeff.
Bye.